Welcome back. Week 7. Recovering a sense of connection. My spot cream on. Should I take it off? Do I have to keep up appearances or should I leave it on? I'm gonna leave it on. I'm letting my skin do its thing. It has been a little bit irritated when I get, when there's a lot of heat in my body, I'm overstimulated, I somehow end up breaking out. Crazy concept. This summer has been probably one of the best summers of my life because I rarely have the privilege to just stay in one spot for a long time. And I think that really, grounding is such an important practice for me. I also think it's a really important practice, and it's kind of like a non-negotiable if you're creative, because I feel like creativity works with a lot of turbulent energy. Oh, I'm not wearing my glasses, wait. Is that better? I feel like that's better. No, it's not better. Alright, so I think that creativity works with a lot of turbulent energy. They're pretty bad. Sorry, Grandma. I'm being a little bit of a perfectionist, and actually, this chapter talked about perfectionism quite a bit, and how perfectionism isn't a quest for the best, it's actually a quest for the worst in ourselves. In order to do something, we must first do it badly, and if we can't swallow our pride and accept the fact that, you're not going to be a superstar your first time acting, you're not going to be, a yogi your first time doing a downward facing dog, I think that we forget that it's always a marathon, it's not a sprint, especially in the arts and creativity. We are so used to consuming and quick dopamine that we have forgotten how to wait for things, and the things that matter take time. Thank God they take time, because the unfolding is so juicy, and it's like, can we listen to the synchronicities and allow things to intertwine and connect to each other? That's the only way that it's going to be real. And yesterday I watched this video. It was a Dr. Huberman podcast, and he was talking to Alex, which is the guy who did the big Free Solo movie. I forgot his last name, so I'm not going to quote it. And basically Alex was talking about how nowadays it's like, when you're a climber, you're not only doing the thing, but you're also promoting the thing and posting on social media. And he was like, I feel bad, because it's like, now you can't just focus on the thing and do the thing and climb. Now you have to do this whole other social media thing. And sometimes we focus so much on this that we actually lose the original thing we came, this is so funny, the original thing that we came here to do. Right? And this is false, but this is what's actually going to get you there. So I think that, that gave me perspective on my own kind of creative process and what I want to do. And it's like, wait, I think that if we use social media as a tool, I think that, it can help kind of round our practice in a way and promote it. But if we're just using the social media, it's kind of vapid, no? Because how many times do we post that we're drawing, but we're not actually, drawing? Social media is more of I'm telling you that I'm doing the thing, but I'm not doing the thing right now because I'm telling you. And in conclusion, he kind of just was like, yeah, it's like you can't just climb nowadays. You have to do the whole social media thing. You have to do the whole promoting thing. And I feel like it's the same in creativity. It's like, you see those memes where it's like, imagine telling Basquiat to make short form content. And it's funny because it's true. We've forgotten that the thing is the thing, and it's strong enough to stand on its own. I think that we can leverage social media. I love social media. I grew up on Instagram. I've always loved it. I love Instagram. I love it. It's so fun. But I think that for my own health, I need to take a step back, and I need to focus on the things I actually want to be doing, because that's what's true. It's not the social media. And I think because we get that quick dopamine and that quick receptivity, we think it's real. But is it still standing outside of social media? I think that's also how we can measure it. Another thing we spoke about is jealousy is a map. Jealousy is a map, and I've always agreed with that statement. I think that what we envy in others, we're too afraid to bring about in ourselves. Let me say it again. what we envy in others, we're too afraid to bring about in ourselves, because bringing those things about means, you know, releasing the things that keep us stuck. And that's deeply uncomfortable. Not a lot of people want to do that. When I feel jealousy, I actually like, yeah, I like it. I enjoy it, because I'm like, oh, this is what you want. This is what you want. Focus on the feeling. Focus on what the person has. What in you is preventing you from experiencing that they have? Listen. And there was an exercise in the chapter where it was like, write down the people you're jealous of, write down why, and write down, you know, how to make it actionable. When we translate emotion into action is when we alchemize things. It's like the most powerful thing we can do. I was listening to someone I follow. She had like a live, and she's actually a witch, and she was speaking about how, you know, there's this really important transition period, which is puberty, and there's a lot of activations, and it's kind of like a portal. You know, puberty is a portal. And she was talking about how there's so much like turbulence that builds up in the body, and we're just like not taught nowadays by like elders or like, you know, community. We don't live in those tribes anymore, how to like properly integrate the information. You know, you don't have an elder by your side being like, okay, you might feel bursts of rage at this period, you know, go on a run, draw, dance, like go, you know what I mean? And then we like get all of these emotions that rise up in the body, because, you know, this is part of the human experience. We are here to feel, but we don't know what to do with them, and we've been taught to shame how we feel. So then they get blocked up in the body. We appear with these crazy mysterious illnesses or rashes, and you know why? It's because we've been taught to shame the emotion. We haven't been taught how to process and alchemize it, because we forget that it's energy, and you take this and you make things with it. But no one's gonna tell you that. You either have to, you know, learn it through trial and tribulation like I have, or, you know, you never learn it, or, you know, you're lucky enough to encounter mentors and elders who give you kind of pointers. But like, this is potent stuff. This is fuel. All of this, the anger, the jealousy, use it. It's juicy, bro. Like, create your dreams, pave your dreams with the things that are, you know, coming through you. Anyway, when an inner situation is not made conscious, it appears on the outside, and we call it fate. And that kind of goes back to what I'm saying. It's like, not really. So let me rephrase that, because this is a different thing than the whole jealousy and emotion thing. So, you know, we feed into these imaginary situations, imaginary archetypes of people, our own archetype, when these situations are not resolved internally. For example, I can take like relationships easily. It's like you have a fear of abandonment, right? And you feed into that fear of abandonment, so you attract people of that same frequency or the same pattern that you are used to experiencing. And then what happens is the same thing happens again, because it's a pattern, it's a loop, and you aren't willing to acknowledge what's happening inside. You're not willing to resolve it, so it projects out into your reality, because what you are inside, you match on the outside. There's no way that what you are inside, like, doesn't match your reality. Because, for example, if you're used to this, then you're gonna go out into the world and you're gonna seek snowflakes, right? Like, if it's familiar and comfortable within you, you're gonna seek that comfort. That's actually a human thing, right? It's a quite like primal to seek comfort, to seek safety. Even if these things are harmful for us, we might not acknowledge it, because for us it's become like a safety coping thing. For example, we can also speak about like addictions. That, for example, over-exercising habit, that overspending habit, that over-drinking habit, that is a place of comfort for us, because it numbs the discomfort we're unwilling to feel. So we seek that everywhere we go, because it's an internal, you know, unresolved issue. It's been quite a busy week, I'm not even gonna lie. I always say that, but like it's always true. I taught like back-to-back classes at the studio, and it was really fun because I was able to kind of like, you honestly never know what you're gonna expect every day when you go into the studio. You know, you have your sequence, whatever, you go in and you teach, and sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes, you know, it's so, like, I've been really learning how to work with people, and I think that's such an important skill set. This lady was like, thank you so much, like I really enjoyed it, that was really fun, thank you so much. She's like, have a great day. And it made me so happy because I was like, oh wait, that's the point. Sorry, that's the point, I forgot. You're supposed to just have fun. Now, like, whatever serious task you're taking on, oh, it's actually supposed to be fun. And I was like, that's how I want people to feel coming out of my class. You just had fun. One other thing I wanted to touch on, my friend brought it up because she's kind of been doing the artist's way alongside me. And she said that she like watched a bunch of reviews on TikTok, and then, you know, she was kind of like doubting her own process in this because a lot of people had bad reviews about the artist's way. They were like, oh, I was really like in the trenches when I did the artist's way. Because how are you gonna knock a process that can work for other people? Like maybe it just doesn't. How are you gonna like knock your past self as well? Like someone being like, oh, like I was really down bad, like that was a really rough period. It's like, yeah, but if it wasn't for that person that did the artist way, you wouldn't be standing here. Because it's like, I see social media as a tool. What are we sharing? What are we learning? Who are you? Tell us the truth. Anyway, that's kind of like biased maybe, and maybe just a little bit cheese because I am doing the artist way. So hearing someone else be like, it sucked, I was really in the trenches, because I wasn't really in the trenches when I started it. I was just looking for, you know, I was listening to that compass, and I was following like that light. And so, nah, bro, I would have been fine if I didn't do the artist way, but look where it has brought me, and that is important, you know? So I told her, I was like, dude, you need to listen to your own path, your own truth, listen to your own anchor. No one else's path is yours. So maybe it doesn't work for someone and they were like, oh, like that was, you know, that was really down bad that I did that. If you are still choosing to judge a past version of yourself, like, okay, you know, fine. But let there also be space for other people. You know? I don't know. I think, yeah, maybe it's biased because this is also an opinion that I'm shooting on the internet. And I'm just like, that's like rude that you said that, you know, the artist way is stupid and it's only for people who are really down bad. Like, you know, maybe I'm just trying to prove that I'm not down bad. But hey, you know, you don't gotta justify what's true to you. So with that being said, stick to your truth, stick to your vision. It is unfolding for you. You just have to walk forward. Right? And if that means picking up the artist's way, or if that means fucking going on a walk, going on a road trip, getting yourself a gelato, going on a run, whatever that is for you, do it, bro. Listen to the path unfolding for you. If you need to write, write. If you need to draw, draw. If you need to sing, sing. No one else is gonna do it for you. No one else is gonna like somehow bring you your dreams on a silver platter. It's just not how it works. And if they do, know that it's probably too good to be true. Peace and love. But also, if it's not peace and love, don't worry, because sometimes it needs to be a little grimy to get to a place of peace and love. Signing off. I'll see you next week. Tune in.